All right, welcome everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you please type the number in the 1 in the comment section in that chat box, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, small group here on Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, whatever day the government decides they want to call it. All right, welcome everyone. Yeah, I hope it was a good one. Hey, Robert, glad you made it. Morning, Kevin. Afternoon, John. Hey, Brenda. All right. As we get started here, keep in mind that everything we look at is for educational purposes. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you like what you see, make sure that it fits your own personal risk profile, excuse me, and risk tolerance before ever taking on that trade, that setup, or that indicator. All right, there goes camera, lights, camera, action. Okay, we got a lot happening this week. October 9th, which is tonight, we got Inner Circle. And that's at 7 p.m. Weekly Whispers Q&A is at 8 p.m. Mastermind group tomorrow at 8. Monster Market Movers is coming up on the 11th. October 13th and 16th. So 13 is this Friday. 16 is next Monday. Are the next two coming up? You can see there are 4 of them there. And these are trading you live, not trading you. You've got Power Hour and Trading Coaches Playbook are on schedule. Trade like a pro. Woo, you want to get to that training, guys. It is going to be awesome. It is coming up on the 19th, the 25th, and the 26th. It's going to be basically what do you need to do to be able to trade like a professional trader? What does it take? And then Pop, Covered Call, E-mini Vegas spreads are all on their regular schedule. Here's follow us page for those of you that are newer. Make sure that y'all are following along with the various trainings that we've got out there on all the different platforms. Get into tradinglikeaboss.com. We can pick up all of our free trainings. Lee just dropped the link in there for Trading Like a Pro. So make sure you grab that. Here's our Trading Boss Manifesto. So you can download this right on tradinglikeaboss.com and should. Pop Masterclass, guys. We got a special on it this week. It ends soon, today or tomorrow, I think. Take advantage of that. Jump into the quarterly or the monthly subscription, and then you can get the Masterclass, MC Masterclass, which is a full day long training on exactly what we did in Power Option Plays is right there. Oh, I don't want to share that yet. What trades did y'all do? Drop those trades in. I'd love to see the trades that you did. Let me see what we've got going on there. It's a very small group today, again, with usually by now we've got probably double what we have right now. So let's see where we're at. There you go. Brendan said nothing, right? Okay. John said Wheel of Fortune on Square, Verizon, Naked Put on Roku, and Iron Condors on RUT. Cash flow of $1,200. Nice job, John. Good. Very nice. I love that. I love that. Today has been a bit of a slow day for me, and that's, Israeli war, right? They can call it a conflict or whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever it is, has caused some pause for me of, we got that really nice bounce on Friday and then this not so good news over the weekend. And then there are some out there now that are screaming that the U.S. is implicit in it, meaning the money we just gave to them is what they use to attack. So I don't know if they could do it that quickly. I am not sure, but we're going to have to keep our eye on that for what the news decides they're going to publish anyway. Jim said no trades off today. Jeff said Tesla both put spread out to Friday, so I'm still in. Great, there you go. Money was theirs. Yeah, well, we're not going to go to the political route on it, right? Other than I think we need to stop giving money to countries that are going to use it against us or can use it against us, that are not our allies, that do not care what we have to say. I mean, this is not something we need to get back into. Heck, what are we going to do? We just started building a wall again, which we said we'd never do. We're going to start sending troops back to the Middle East now, which we said we were never going to do. I mean, we look very weak with some of the stuff that we go through here. Yeah, amen to that, Robert. Yeah. I get it, Brenda. I just don't believe that any of that is stopped. I think it's just not reported on the news. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. First off, well, let's go bring the trade up from what Amelia sent in today. Well, I went ahead and redid the screen, so let me start that back up again. Right, so what do we got here? We've got a bull call debit spread is what she did. So at 9:33 this morning on Netflix, she did 5 contracts of each, 5 buy, 5 sell, right? Which for a debit of $2.70. So she sold one option. She bought another one for more money than the one she sold, right? Debit out of her pocket was $2.70 on this trade. And that was at 9:33 this morning. We'll call it 10 o'clock was the exit, 9:39 and 54 seconds, 10 o'clock. She got out of that trade, closed both legs out, and got a credit of $3.45. So 45, 30, 75 cents of profit on that trade. So 27%, 75 cents in 7 minutes. So if you look at it as 75 cents on, if you did on one contract, you made $75. Not bad, not a bad day. She did 5 contracts. That's $3.75, right? Yeah, $3.75. So overall, really nice job there, Amelia. Great job. Yeah, it's my fault, Jim. The conversation I had with Sabrina, yeah, it escalated in the Middle East. Yep, not bad. Yeah, way to go, Amelia. Good. I love the kudos for her, guys. She did a really good job with that. Good trade, really good trade. So I did one. That was it. I did one, missed one. Right. Costco is the one I wound up. And not looking so good right now. We've given a lot of it back from where we were, but we got in at that 555.5 as it broke, retested, and dropped. If we go and look at Costco, oh, I got it right here. Okay, so you can see we closed up here and then took the move down, right? So if we look at a 1-minute candle, and I'm going to have to back the train up a little bit to see it all. We pushed up, we closed below, we gapped up, and we had a quick fail in there. The candle, as it's failing on that 1-minute candle, is doing the up and down earlier on in it, and then it finally just fell apart. So we were able to get in about 554.5, right? So right about there-ish on the big red candle, okay? Which is the low price here was 554.58. So just shy of that previous one. Again, we've climbed back up a little bit at the end of the day. So this may wind up being a wash, a wipeout for us. We may get hit on this one. We'll see. I mean, listen, it still happens. We have 25%-ish of our trades go against us. So I'm not really too concerned with it. I'll give you an example. These were the trades from last week, from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. These are 1 contract trades. I know it's got a bigger number here. It's just the way the spreadsheet is built. All of this is the closeout right here. It's a stopped quantity, which whether it's stopped or sold, it doesn't matter. And let me just make the page bigger. It's easier. So yes, Chipotle and Mexican Grill was a big part of it. Amazon was a wash trade. Home Depot, we lost $39. We doubled that to the upside on Meta. We made $800 on Meta here, $700 on Netflix, 1 contract. We lost $175 on SPY right here. $3,718.50 for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with 1 contract trades, right? Take out Chipotle Mexican Grill, the more expensive one, and we're still $1,800 of profit even without trading Chipotle. We're trading the Amazons, the Home Depots, Netflix, Meta, SPY, easier trades, right? So overall, we did well the end of last week. Costco again was the only one today that I took entry on. The one I missed today was Booking. That's the other one that had the check mark in it that I was looking at, and that one would have been home run had I taken it, right? And it was, for my own personal trading, it was a little too fast, right? Let's go to 1 minute candles. Right, we got the gap down right below our fib line, 30.23. 30.04. We opened up at 30.21.43. So we were $2 down below there. Okay. We got back up and then just collapsed from there. We ran all the way down, hit our target on this trade. Had I taken this is exactly what I would have done. Let me bring us back in here. Right. You know what? This is, guys, when I talk about Pop Masterclass, this is exactly the things we teach in Pop Masterclass. So if I grab my drawing tools, which have got to be around here somewhere, where are they? Let me just open this thingamabooby up. Let me start this recording, and I'm going to just hit pause. This is also I can get access to good drawing tools. So we gapped up today, right? Right, just shy of that 30.23.04 level, just shy of it, $2. Okay, and we failed. The entry should have come in wherever we can get in there today, 30.21, 30.20, wherever it was, we should have taken the entry there. I did not. Right? The exit, this is our support right now, 29.69. We should be $5 above this on this setup. So 29.69 plus 5, we're going to have a target, or target. Just get rid of the crosshairs. It's easier to see. We're going to have a target of 29.74. Right? That's a 2974. Okay? Is my target. Right? Getting in this trade at 20. Right? So let's say we got in here. Let's do it this way. Easier to see. Let's say the entry was 30.20. We're going to say the exit was 29.74. Call it 29.75. Just easy math. All right. Talking $45 move, of which I would have had a 65 delta. I always go for the lowest delta possible on booking, sometimes in that 60 range. Say you had a 60 delta on a $45 move. So 45 times 0.6. We're not accounting for any gamma at all. And that's a 20 or implied volatility, nothing, none of that. Vega. It's a $27 move in the options price. Really, really, really nice setup. When we take 4 contracts on this usually, right? Now, I missed the entry. I didn't like the way it looked. It didn't get close enough to the line. Visually it was, but it was just too far away from me, and we just ran. On the retest, we didn't come up high enough. I wish we had, because it's a great setup. When we're in and out of that trade by 9:43, we're done. Right? We are done, baby. Done. Even to the tune of what we had on our pivot points. You know, look at Qs. I got nothing bearish here that I wanted to take. I certainly wasn't trading bullish. Look at SPY. I got nothing bearish to take. No break of the pivot, PP, yellow line. No break of that, nothing. So there was no pivot trade on either of those for me today. So a little bit of a slower day. And I'm okay with that. Mondays are insane days for me anyway. First day back. And today is even different because I have 2 additional people in the house today. My wife and my daughter are both off. Their schools are off. For Indigenous Peoples Day, while we've got the Columbus Day Parade going on in New York today. It's a great thing. But they're both home today. So there's a little bit of the running around. What are we doing today? Let's go grab lunch type things and stuff. So getting just the one trade off today, I was okay with that. But we'll see what Costco winds up. Like I said, right now it's not faring too well for me. We'll see what it does though. Yeah, exactly, Robert. And I'm not going to repeat that out loud just in case someone's listening. So, exactly. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Fantastic. So let's go look at the S&P 500. Man, I had a whole rigmarole of what we were going to talk about on it today and how it's working and what it's doing and blah, 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 blah. You know, it really just comes down to taking a very measured approach to the market. Just like you should on every stock you trade, a measured approach, meaning we're not just going out there and saying, oh, it's up today, I'm trading up. No. There has to be a systematic methodology behind why you are doing it this way. There has to be. You cannot do this in such a way that you don't have a plan behind it. If you do it haphazardly, that's the kind of results you're going to get, and that's not what I'm interested in at all. So you'll see a bunch of little short horizontal blue lines in there. So, swing lows and swing highs, right? So we had a high, a lower high, a lower high yet. We had a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower low, right? So we have high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, okay? If this becomes our high, right now, which I can't say it is because we're in that little bit of a bounce up today, and maybe over the next couple of days we have to see. But if this is our high and we push down, then we're going to be targeting that 42.1680 line. I'm going to take that back off so there's no confusion here at all, okay? When I take this measured approach, this look, this view, I am doing so from the position number one in the chair. I'm back here, right? And I am far away. My hands are behind my head. This is kind of a thinking position, if you would, right? I'm thinking about what's next. What do I need to do? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to approach, or how, and so forth, right? And I draw the lines on there. And where I can find confluences, whether it's confluence of a moving average, like we would have right here if we pressed up to that 21 moving average now, or right here and we had a confluence of a fib line. Fib, it doesn't make a difference, but a fib line, it doesn't matter. That there just adds an extra bit of fuel to the fire, an extra area of strength, if you would, right? It's where I talk about, 2 pieces of plywood on the floor, not one. It's just thicker, it's stronger, and much harder to get through. You ain't breaking it with a hammer, that's for sure. At least not without some substantial amount of pounding with the claw side to rip through that plywood little by little. Okay? So, but overall, we're in a bearish pattern. We had a strong move on Friday. I think Friday was an overreaction. The market did not. I did not think 1/10 of a point was enough for a reason, especially since the number we hit was the same number we hit last month, or had planned for last month, hit last month. So the government is notorious for revisions on their numbers for unemployment and things like that. So again, I'm torn to how much I believe it, but it doesn't matter how much I believe it. I'm not talking long-term here. I'm talking about position one in the chair. What am I doing? Right? I'm analyzing and waiting for a setup. Setup comes, I go to position 2, position 3. Gets me in the right location, but I've got to start off in position 1. Right? If I jump right into position, position 1. If I jump right into position 3, I got a problem. Houston, you got a problem. Right? There's got to be a methodology to it, and that would not be so just jumping right in. I want to know what's gone on and what do I see happening as we go forward. Right now, I look at this. We opened today in bearish territory. True bearish, no less. We opened the bearish bias today. We pushed up, we're back into a bearish neutral. Right? So nice move to the upside today. Right? Very nice move to the upside today. Good bounce, good strong bounce. We're about where we closed on Friday. Yeah, we're up. We're actually up 6 or 7 cents right now. And how much does the U.S. Just took a quick look over my shoulder to see if anything was on CNBC with the president talking or something. How much the U.S. intervenes? Yeah, we put warships in place. China's already lashed out about the event. I didn't see what it was, but they've already had comments to say. I would not be surprised if the U.S. should keep their nose out of other people's businesses. The EU ministers were meeting today with an emergency meeting to try to figure out what they should do. Sanctions are going to be in play, I'm sure, all over again. We're going to have sanctions back in place for them yet one more time. So, and again, are we giving, whether they deserved their money, it was their money, we owed it to them, we held it back from sanctions. I get all of that, but what was the reason we owed it to them? For what? Right? I doubt it was oil because we would have paid them for their oil, right? I think it was owed to them, I think, or if it was, how about that? if it was owed to them because of monies we're giving them for aid or to help for this and help for that. I can show you some starving people in this country right here that could use the damn money right now, right? And if you're not sure where, I am part of a group right now that is working to raise money for Hawaii, for people in Hawaii. And it's just, those people were so decimated, some of those people there, so just wiped out, they could use the help, right? So I think we need to start looking more of what we need to do here. I understand there are things, obligations we have elsewhere, and there are reasons for giving money, right? Political reasons, such as, well, let me be careful. Yes, they're all political. Political reasons such as we need to support that country because there's a strategic point for us to keep our nuclear weapons in. I get some of that, right? But how much is enough? When do we say, how do we say, U.S. economy, we're going to let you fail, federal workers, U.S. soldiers, we know we're not going to pay you and you have to continue to work. We'll eventually pay you. We're not going to pay you right now because of a government shutdown. And then the president comes out and says, well, but Ukraine, don't worry, you're still funded through November. No. Sorry, we're going to have to pull those fundings back and use them to pay our own soldiers here. We're going to have to use them to pay, the bills here for individuals that would have to continue to work, even though they were not going to get paid for it until the furlough for others is over, right? So charity starts at home. There you go, Robert. Yeah, I know it was their money trip and that we froze. It's just a matter of, we have supported every major terrorist attack against us, everyone. So we've got to look in caution of that. Yeah, not a problem, trip. Okay, all right. So we look at S&P 500. What do I see? This new turmoil adds a whole different monkey wrench to it. I mean, where was it? Chicago, I believe, yesterday. Robert, did they have rioting in Chicago from both sides, of people marching for both sides, Hamas and for Israel? And I saw something, and I swore they said it was in Chicago that it took place. You heard a birthday party. Okay, don't know. Was that a birthday party? Is that who was knocking on my door? Yeah, and Brendan said it's across the country. I know, but I think the one I saw in Chicago, at least I didn't see much of it, but the march that I saw there, they said was getting very violent. Israel vowing to wipe out Hamas and Gaza, and it is when we say what's going on with S&P, all of these things could cause a lot more strife in our markets than we really need right now. Remember when the conflict with Russia and Ukraine started as a conflict, right? Although, again, I heard that Israel declared war today. But when that conflict started, remember how crazy it was on the markets there. My concern is we're going to run into the same type of thing, right? Yeah, the rally in Dallas. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see if riots don't become violent or what. So I'm not concerned, but unsure as to where we go from here. But what I do see is we've got the 42.76 level to the downside and the 43.17 level to the upside. We've got to get past that 43.33 and the 21 moving average into a neutral bias for me to even consider any bullish entry right now on positions. Until we get past that point, I'm just not liking it. I'm just not there. Okay. I just don't feel it is I don't feel that it's the right place to take a bullish trade until we get above that. Yeah, Jeff said Israel declared war yesterday officially. Right. That's what I thought. I thought it was yesterday that they had said it, but we don't watch news here. I've got CNBC on, plenty of junk on there that I don't want to see on stuff like this as well. But we don't watch news. We'll pick up whatever as you're flipping channels. There's a riot somewhere, you stop and go, all right, what's that? Okay, good. Keep that. Keep pressing the remote control, right? So we're not really news watchers here. Where I got a buddy of mine that's about 6 hours a day. If I need to know news, I call him. He'll tell me everything I want to know about the news, right? So Glenn said, what do you think will be different with our trading if we should go to digital currency? Do you think things will go on as usual in the stock markets? So I guess the answer to that question is multi-leg, Glenn, because is it a universal digital currency where all countries are involved? Or is it a U.S. digital currency? Does the U.S. lose clearing status then because of it? More than likely, the answer to that one is yes. That will affect us as a nation drastically. Take away that 4% that we receive in clearing currency, and they said the average American will see a reduction in their cost in their living scenario by 25%. There's 25% less money to give you for stuff that the government funds right now if we lose that 4% clearing fee. So, and if it's U.S. based, my concern is hack no matter what. Yeah, can you go in and rob a bank? Yes. Is the FDIC going to insure that coin? I doubt it. Are they going to insure a digital coin like that? And again, a coin, if it's universal, multi-countries, no, we can't, right? That doesn't make any sense. And the reason for the multi-country being a major concern, if anybody's thinking that it shouldn't be, you should. And here's why. Look at what happened with Europe and the euro, right? When Greece was ready to default, Greece was like 1 or 2% of the entire euro. And there was mass hysteria of what was going to happen to the euro if they defaulted for 1%, right? Germany gave them money, then they gave money again because they were the biggest debtor to them. And then finally, Germany said, you know what, we're going to give money to you, but we're not giving it to you. We will decide how the money gets used. We're going to manage your bills for you to get you out of this mess. And they did, okay? Or they helped with it. But PIGS, P-I-G-S, right? Portugal, Italy, Greece, Spain, P-I-G-S. That was those 4 countries were the major concern. What happens now when you put 175 countries into this digital currency and you have some little mom and pop country that they default? You know, you have an Aruba has problems, or you have a Mexico, even not small, but a Mexico whose economy is horrible, right? Or somewhere in Africa that their economies are in bad shape, right? What happens when those nations start to falter? I think we deal with a very unstable stablecoin, is what bottom line of it comes down to for me. So Gwen, I hope it never gets to that, at least in my lifetime. As much as I don't use cash very often, drives my wife nuts. We'll go to a restaurant and it's cheaper with cash than credit card. I don't carry it, right? Just don't carry it. So it all goes on. If it's business, it all goes on credit card. If it's personal, I'll pay it on cash. Business, it needs to relate back to the business, and I'm not saving a receipt for something for business, right? So I really hope it doesn't get to this digital currency. I think the regulations around it are going to be devastating. Right? No different than, look at what's going on now in the US, of course, but with these Venmos and so forth. The IRS has come out and said, yeah, you're going to be taxed on anything you've received for Venmo this year over $600. You're going to be taxed on that. My kids go out to dinner with their friends, right? And my daughter, she's smart, my oldest, she wants the points on her credit card. So she's like, yeah, I'll put it on my card. I bet just Venmo me. This one sends $20. This one sends $10. This one sends $30, whatever it is, right? But she's got thousands of dollars of monies that her friends have sent her this last year to pay for restaurants that she's going to have to come up and pay taxes on them, right? So I just think there's a lot of concern if we ever move into that digital phase completely. Do I think we'll step into it? I think the smart way to do it is the U.S. introducing their own coin. That's the smart way. And having ways of doing automatic, not transfers, but exchanges with different currencies from different coins as they get introduced, right? Do we really want to sit on a board with China and Russia and Europe and whoever else, Mexico, Canada, to say, well, I want this? And then U.S. saying, well, we're biggest, and China saying, we're almost as big. And we go back and forth and fight. China surpasses the U.S., and we don't have the say any longer that we did because we're not the biggest in that arena anymore. So I hope it doesn't happen, but I think we are definitely moving in that path. All of that going to say, I don't have an exact answer of how we trade through that. I don't think the trading component changes much, other than will stocks still be valued at what they're valued at now? I think that really becomes the much bigger question. Will Apple still be a $200 stock, or Costco $500, or booking $3,000? Is that what we're going to see our stocks at, or are we going to see price changes? Meaning they're overvalued and cannot sustain with this new currency, right? Where's the first hiccup? Europe, going to the euro, where Great Britain kept their pound. They were the only one in Europe, right? And they were brilliant, because as all of this crap started happening with the euro, Great Britain came out and said, we'll just use the pound. We're good, people. Don't worry about it. We'll go back to pound. We're okay. Don't fret. Smart. They're visionary to have seen that, right? To have planned for that. All right. So let me bring in play here one more time. All right. How to trade the looming government shutdown. All right. That was the topic for today. Well, with what's gone on right now with war, I think that's going to be a bigger concern. But let me ask this. Give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no, if you think come November, we're going to see a government shutdown. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Wow. Y'all are much more optimistic than I am. Yeah, Kevin said we need one. And I don't know if we need the shutdown per se, but we need the eye-opener. I think that the new regime is going to fight for what they believe is right in this upcoming bill. I saw a video the other day that showed in this spending bill that they tried to approve for keeping the government funded, there was $1 million, was one of the things, had a $1 million line item to put a park somewhere in California. The news organization went out and investigated it and said the average park in California for that, the park that they were looking to build was between $30,000 and $50,000. Why are we giving or earmarking $1 million for a park in California? And then there were multiple things like that. They needed, inclusive bathrooms somewhere. I get that, but how does the federal government fund that? How does that even dare come in under New York has to pay for that to go in any other state than New York or whatever state you're in, right? So I don't know if there's going to be enough willingness to budge. I am of the opinion, I think the Democrats are not going to want to budge on any of the spending. They're going to want to increase it as they're trying to do now. They're going to want to increase that spending, and I don't believe the Republicans are going to give it into the spending increases, right? I think you're going to see some of that shift. I mean, what did we just see? One mayor, governor, I forget, of a very Democratic state I forget who it was, just announced that they're not Democrat anymore, they're now Republican, they're changing parties. You got Kennedy, right, who is not running as a Democrat, but he's going to run against Biden as an independent, right? Meaning leaving the Democratic Party, I mean, of all people, the Kennedys, right? So I think there's a lot of that out there that I don't know if we're going to get away with not shutting down. Do we need to shut down? I think the American people need an eye-opener, and I think somebody needs to do an accounting of, we've got $31 trillion of debt. I want someone to show me line items of what the debt is because of. I want to know, not $100 million was California, $200 million was this. No. What was that $100 million to that state, or that $1 million to that park, right? Because if these politicians would stop putting crap in there that had nothing to do with the reason we're doing the bill, this is all if you want my vote, I want $1 million for a park. What? You should be fired. fired for that. Actually, you should be hung by your fingernails until they break, and then your toenails. All right, for doing that and fighting for the wrong thing. You are not there. Yeah, I got to do the best for my people. No. You are a U.S. senator. You may or congressman, woman, whatever. You may be for your state, but you are a federal employee. Federal, not state employee. You're a federal employee, right? You need to focus on what's best overall and putting your $1 million for your park in California that really costs 50 grand, call it 5% of that. I got serious problems with that. Personally, I have serious issues with that. You know, you look at many organizations, not necessarily only government run, but government organizations, right? If you ran your business like that, or your boss had a business and that's what was happening there, you'd be out of business. You couldn't afford it because your boss can't just say, well, let's just print more money. Oh, we ran out. We'll print more. Let's print more. Let's take on more debt. Sooner or later, the bank goes, yeah, you know, that debt you're taking on, we want it back. We want it back. We're collecting, we're calling it a debt. Calling in our note. We want it now. We've got a right. We've got a covenant that says we can. We want to call the note. All right. Yeah, if you're in your household that way, you'd be on the street. So bottom line, guys, all of this comes down to whether you like the politics, don't like the politics. It doesn't matter. It's a consideration in there. It's all a consideration. You have to look at all of these things that we're talking about is when we talk about the trading the shutdown, right? That's where all this came from. I shut that page down again. Sorry. You're trading the looming government shutdown, right? Are we going to shut down or not? I think we will have a shutdown. Listen, I hope we're wrong. I don't want to see anybody be to a point where they are not paid, because just because someone is a federal employee doesn't mean that they can afford to get paid a month or a week or whatever amount later in time. I don't want to see any shutdown take place, right? My fear is from some of the commentaries that are going on out there right now that we may see that take place. And if that's the case, you've got to plan up front what you're going to do. And if you're holding long positions, this is where we talk about how do we plan for this. If you're holding long positions, you need to be positioned that if this happens, that you've got something to protect, at least partially protect your downside. How do you fully protect it? You sell your long positions if that's the case. You get out of your mutual funds, you get out of your stocks, and so forth. You get out of those completely, right? That way you can protect 100%, but that's not what most people are going to do, right? If you are holding long stock positions and they are optionable, you can buy protective puts on those positions to offset if we do have that type of shutdown. And that's what you've got to look at. How can you look into your portfolio? We talk looming shutdown. How can you look into your portfolio and see what is there that you can protect, right? When it comes down to investments that you may have that are not stock market, right? That's where Dale Zamzo comes into play, right? Dale does an amazing job of showing people how that regardless if the market goes down, he can protect your initial investment, that you can't lose it, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, that's the wonders of knowing how to do this. This is the stuff that the wealthy parties they get invited to that you and I are not invited to, and the stuff that they talk about, right? The ultra wealthy, the Teslas and the Buffetts and the Bill Gates and so forth, right? These are the strategies that they're employing, right? How do we offset this risk if this were to happen? And I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if it does, we need to have that focus on what way do we protect it. Because here's what's going to happen. Most people are going to do nothing. And if that date comes and that government does do a shutdown, to say that someone's going to be screwed royally is an understatement. Right? You're not going to be able to get out quickly. Oh, but I'll just sell my mutual funds. Yeah, at the end of the day today, because you can't sell them intraday. They sell on close. So no, you're not selling out of it today. Never got the concept of it. Oh, it's not meant to be short-term, it's long-term. No. Listen, it's a computer. I hit enter, it should sell. It should not be an issue with it. I don't quite get that part. Okay. So there definitely is a concern if that were to take place. How do we handle it? That's what you need to do. You need to look into your portfolios and decide what your protection method is going to be. Are you going to just hold the position out and wait, right? And that is a strategy to do nothing, right? It's a decision anyway, right? Maybe not a strategy, but a decision. Are you going to buy protective puts on the position? Are you going to close out the position, right? Are you going to try to hedge with another type of trade and or another type of fund? Maybe you're in a mutual fund and you're in an S&P 500 fund, and maybe you go to, I don't know, an emerging fund. I don't know. I'm not a mutual fund guy, so I can't answer that question. But can you hedge yourself somehow with a different fund to offset that risk? Can you go out to some of the bearish directional things out there like VIXI, VIXX or something it is? VIXX, is it? No, it's not dollar sign. Is it VIXX? VIXY. Okay, so VIXY, okay? Right, is one of them. VIXI, right? Short-term VIX position that you could trade, right? And then there are the ones that are multiples 2 and 3 times volatility that you can consider. I'd be very careful if you are not an experienced trader trading things that are 2 or 3 times more volatile than the market. Very, very, very careful with that. All right. So the steps are pretty simple. Analyze your portfolio and determine what you plan to do with each position that's in there. Are you going to hold it? You're going to close it? Or are you going to buy protection on it or hedge it somehow? That's all there is. Those 4 things. Hold on, sell it, buy protection, or hedge. That's all you can do. Those 4 pieces that I can think of anyway. Those 4 pieces in there, you just have to decide which one works best for your portfolio. I can't give you the answer legally, and I don't have the answer. Legally or not, I don't have an answer of what's best for you in your portfolio. I can tell you that my neighbor who wanted to retire when the market crashed last and did not, and we saw that 60% drop well, he did in his portfolio. The markets were down 55, 52% or something. Well, if you lose half of your portfolio, you had $100,000, it drops to 50 grand. For you to get back to break even, you need 100%. If you had 100,000, now you have 50. To go from 50 to 100, that's a 100% gain. Market average is what, 8 or 9% a year, right? You'll get the 10s and 15s and so forth and higher, right? But you'll get higher swings to the downside too in there. Yeah, typical attorney answer, Robert says it depends. The answer is it depends. Right, it depends what's important to you. Exactly. Right, what's the best method for you and your family? Stephanie said, since stocks are so low already, is it worth to sell a put? So I was talking about buying a protective put, Stephanie. If you're talking about selling a put, meaning thinking it's going up, again, it's just, you've got to determine based on what you see on charts for not only your stock, but for that market that it's related to, how you want to trade it. I mean, there were companies as the market crashed in 2000, there were companies that were doing phenomenal. And you watch the market come crashing down and you watch these stocks continue to go up, but that was very short-lived before they peaked and rolled over and caught up very quickly to their counterparts over the next couple of days and weeks, just in a downward move. Well, so you meant of buying a protective put. So Stephanie, if you have a stock like Tesla, right, who right now is trading at $255, right? How far down can it go? I mean, if we go back historically, how far down has it been? Right? Right here. Oh, let me get my cross here. Right about here, the low on this day was 107. I really can't, I don't have exact there date, but that's probably the bottom of the fib there. So 107.16 looks like the bottom of the fib there. So it got down near $100. Right now it's at 255. Is it worth it to protect that downside? I would say probably, but ultimately you'd have to make the, yeah. So Home Depot is another one, right? So Home Depot was down here at 265. It's at 295, 290 color, 295, just easy math. About $30, 25 or $30 move to the downside. And it's already been punished. Absolutely 50, 60 bucks, whatever that was. It's already been punished. It really just, it comes down, Stephanie, to the decision on your part of what do you plan to do? I am going to be looking at, I don't own mutual funds, so that makes it real easy, right? Long-term positions, SPY, Qs, Berkshire, things like that I hold long-term. Google, Tesla, Amazon, I will be looking to buy puts on those positions, right? To protect my portfolio. Looking to trade going forward, just that's easy enough with directional trades. Credit spreads would be my biggest way of doing it, right? Those right there. I will stay away from iron condors. One directional market, iron condors don't cut it, right? Stephanie, does that help? All right. Good. Okay. So Roby said, Rob, protective puts, how far out do you buy them? So on my long-term stuff, Roby, I tend to go out 6 months and try to get out of them within 2 months before they expire, where they don't lose a big portion of their time value. So I go out six months for those. If I'm buying it just to protect, because earnings are coming out this week, I'm only going a week or two past the earnings date. That's it. But normally I'm going out 6 months. So again, it really just comes down to if we do shut down, and we're only talking shutdown now, right? But if we do shut down, how long do you feel that shutdown is going to last? I think because of the election, the shutdown can hurt both sides. So I think neither side wants it to stick around for a very long time, right? Good, Roby. Good. Glad it helped. Okay, Stephanie, I understand. Got it. Kevin, so what are your thoughts about the bond market being closed today and reopening tomorrow? I don't follow the bond as closely as some others do. So for me, the correlation doesn't work, meaning it isn't important to me. So I don't know. I'm not sure, Kevin. I just don't have the answer to it. I apologize for that. It's just not, I won't give you something I don't know, but I don't do anything with bond markets whatsoever. I think that for me, there are other ways of investing. How much effect do they really have on the markets versus not? Yep, definitely they can, but I don't have it. Sorry. Okay. All right. What candidates do you want me to take a look at, folks? We've got a few minutes left. Let's go jump in on those. Brenda did jump in right away with two of them. QQQ. She was loaded and ready to go, guys. So let's bring that in. Let me go look at all symbols. So let's go to SPY first, since I want to see what it can show me on the right, the left side there with my Fibbits. Yeah, if there's a position that you're thinking, if you're thinking, Kevin did it perfect, Tesla short, right? So he's talking downside. I have an answer now, and I can answer it that way. So we look at SPY, Brenda. I would love to see us break back below the 427 level. I do believe on S&P 500 we need that the 4181 level. I think that has to touch this time around. I'd love to see it. How about that? Touch at this point, but excuse me. If it does make a move to the upside, you got room up to 431, but I'm not real excited about trading a bullish trade inside of a bearish pattern. So now this is SPY. If this was Apple and the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 are up today, and Apple's bouncing off of a bearish level with a clear and concise entry, a clear path to my target, yes, I'm okay with taking an intraday bullish trade. But this is the market itself. I got nothing else to base it on. So I really want to be cautious when it comes to that. All right. QQQ. So Brenda, look at it. It's in the middle. Yuck is an understatement. Guys, if there are candidates you want me to look at, drop them in, and I'll be glad to do so. It's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's stuck between all those moving averages. It's just very, 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 very ugly looking at this point, right? If we can get through there, great. If we can't, then I'm probably going to say it's, I'm just not very excited about it yet, okay? So I hope that helps. Kevin said on Tesla was short. So Tesla's earnings coming up, I think they were confirmed. I don't remember right off the top of my head now, but I think they're confirmed. But they definitely have earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. To the downside, you've got room down at 250. We're sitting, Kevin, right by both of the moving averages, the 8 and 21. Big gap to the downside. I'd be cautious. Nothing in there telling me take a trade for me today. My trade doesn't come in until we break the 250 level. Once we break, retest, and fail, I'm in bearish, right? Will I miss out on some here? Yep. Am I okay with that? Yep. Right? I'll have a higher percentage of being right and a lower risk profile in my trades. So I hope that helps. KOLD. Roby was asking for cold. KOLD. Oh, God. He was asking short, playing to the downside. Goodness gracious. All right. The fib is still valid, which is very ugly. Thanks, Robert. Tesla's earnings are 1018 after the market. I appreciate it. So it's a very ugly pattern, a little bit old, right? This thing goes back to November or December, beginning of December. So we're at the 10-month mark now. So a place to start looking to redraw. We don't have it yet. But now that I can see where the fibs are, let's do this here. Okay. So Roby, the move back up to 48.33 and the fail gives me the room down to 41.5. We also have to look left. I haven't said that a lot lately. Look left. You will see that there is some support right there. And when we say support, we've been there before, right? The low on this day back here, which was August 9th, low, 44.25. The low today, 44.33. Bingo, we're right there. So there's some support level right in there. So I would love to see this come back up, Roby, and fail. I'm not the breakout trader. I don't do well on those. But if it does break out of that bottom level, that 44.25, you've only got 41.55 as the support to the downside. So again, we're just tightening up as we get into these lower price on the stock. So I hope that helps, Roby. You're welcome. Let's see. Joe's asking for LMT. All right, let's keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, so we've given everything back on the fib. Holy mackerel. What happened today? It's not earnings, unless this is off. Joe, any idea what happened? Why did we get this gap up today? What just took place? Okay, I don't know why that fib just disappeared. So that was a big gap up. Futures contract, Joe said, maybe futures contracts. Robert said maybe the war in Israel. Who? Oh, for Lockheed for defense. Okay, you know what? There you go, Robert. That's a good, valid point. And they may be single stock futures on them also, Joe. That's very possible. But I mean, that was a nice move. It was a really nice move for them. Wow. We did violate the 882 though. So let's go draw a bearish fib here. Okay, so we gapped up right near that 431, 1631, 1530, 15 points. So we need a fib it in there. So we need a negative 136 and a 118. Inside of there. Okay, now let's zoom in a bit and see. So, I mean, we're right there, Joe. If we can get the move back above that 431, retest and bounce, 440 is our target. If it fails, we've got a clear path to our next target, which is 423.5. So it's a good switchback trade if we close about where we are right now. Either way. So I like it a lot. I hope that helps. And then Trip put in IBM. Let's go look there. Earnings coming up shortly on IBM. Really nice move. They've run into their 618, negative 618. They didn't close above, so we're not at a point we need to redraw yet. Probably should pull that out. I like it a lot to the downside, Trip. Retest that 142, back down to 139.5. Beautiful. Right? So I like it. Bounce to the upside, a lot in the way, 55.21. Not as excited there. Let's see. Sandy asked for RTX. Ooh. Yowza. Who are they? Raytheon. Oh, Raytheon. Okay. So a little gap today again. We have defense, right? A little bit of a gap today to the upside there. Very ugly. Very ugly. Let me pull this back. I don't know. It's just when you see where the fib is going to go on this thing, it's just terrible. We're going to start our fib here. And this is all sideways. Gap down and we go sideways. Gap down, we go sideways. Gap down, we go sideways. We go down. Today was the bounce. We come up these bottoms right here. We don't have a good bounce up to the 236 yet, but the old lines we were working off of were not giving us zero, nothing at all. Let me see, Trip. Just trying to time it all out. So on RTX, Andy, you got the 21 moving average there, 73.87. Let's see if we can get the push up and the fail down to 71. But realistically, I'd like to see the break of the 71. 71. Okay. Actually, we need Fibbits in there. We've got a $2 and change Fibbit. Call it $3. In here, we've got 7. So we need to put a Fibbit inside. So we're going to split that in half. So give me a negative 136, give me a 118. Okay. So 74.5 down to 71 or 71 down to 67 on RTX. All right, Sandy? And then OLN. Ooh, my eyes hurt just looking at this thing. Vicious mover. All right, let's see, 45 to 49 is $4, $3. We need to split these again. So we're going to have to put in a negative 136 and a 118 on this side also. All right. So 45 is the first downside target. I like it to the downside. I don't really care for it to the upside. All right. So I hope that helps. And then Trip also had in there IWM. Yeah, I don't have I mean, it's an old fib. Draw from that swing high down, probably that swing low. Yeah. How do I know? Yeah, because that bounce off of there brought us to the 236. More than likely, we're in the right place. Okay. So 169 and a half, we'll call it 170 to 174, $4. We don't need a fib in there. So we're good. So it looks like 169 and a half is support on it there, Trip. Good, good. Trip said that same fib I've got. Excellent. Good. I love when that happens. And then diamonds, DIA, who I hardly look at all. So they need a new fib in there. I just don't know if, well, that might have been enough for bounce. Let's see. Yeah, enough bounce. I like it a lot to the downside, Trip. Back down to the, well, let me see. 28 to 33, 5. Yep, no fib. That back down to the 328 and a half. Let's see. One last one. Jim's got PXD. Okay, fib is fine. It's in a bullish bias. Gap up today, pull back. Jim, break the 239.5, retest and bounce, 247 to the upside. You can trade the downside if you get a bearish day down to 232. All right. By the way, Jim typed in rumored ExxonMobil to buy out, which is why I jumped bullish. Thought I'd pull back to support and a bounce up. That's what I'm looking at. Can we get the move back to 232 and a bounce? That would be a very nice thing if we could. All right, everybody. Lee dropped some links in there early on in the day, so go ahead and register for that free upcoming training we've got going on. Don't miss out on it, guys. You're gonna have a great day with it. Brandon does an amazing job with training. Actually, if you go over to, you can put those links back in, but if you go over to tradinglikeaboss.com, here it is, learn how to trade like a pro. Right, Brandon, you can register right there. Right there. You're welcome, Trip. You're welcome as well, Jim, and all of you. Thank you very much, everybody. Hey, listen, have a great rest of your day. God bless. And I will see you all at our next update. Take care, everyone. Grab that link that Lee just dropped in. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.